Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be Eden Zero, Chapter 99, The Pendant. So let's see what this is all about. So I got to say, this chapter was pretty good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's one of those cleanup chapters. So after the main fight, we kind of see how the arc pretty much cleans up. And from the start of it, Kraken, Draken Joe is still alive, but he's kind of like just in his human form, and none of that goop stuff is around anymore. And we kind of see, I quite like this transition in the first page where we get Whitehair Shiki powering down into his normal form. So I thought that was quite a cool transition. And we see Kraken, I'm actually calling him Kraken, he's Draken Joe. He kind of goes old. That kind of makes sense because he's been stealing people's life force for the longest time. So, he's kind of going back to his original form in a sense without all the life that he's got. He's lost all his extra life, and we get some quite challenging stuff in the sense that Weiss kind of picks up the gun and points it at Draken Joe. So I thought, this is he's probably not going to shoot him because this is shonen, and I was pretty much right in a sense because he didn't kill him because I don't know why they don't do it. He just didn't have the balls, I guess. But it was kind of nice. The I quite enjoyed the reason that we find out why he didn't kill him, which was explained really nice. But we'll get to that. I mean, Weiss has every reason to kill him, to be honest. Because he's the guy who was directly responsible for his mother's death because of all the life force that he was stealing. Like he wasn't targeting his mother, but she was a victim of his life stealing technique anyway. And also, many other people have died because of Draken Joe. Indirectly anyway. And in this moment, this would be the perfect time to kill him, considering he's quite an infamous villain, and in his powerless state, he'd be an easy kill. And I like how Weiss he even what do you call it? He even challenges Shiki's beliefs about friendship, because we can definitely see that Shiki is challenging Weiss in this moment. I do enjoy this conflict where Shiki is all about just leave him alone, like he's done. There's no point killing him, and this conversation that they have between each other is quite nice, to be honest. And Weiss has he makes some really good points. Well, I it's some kind of points that even I agree with. Like how can you be friends with someone who's taken the life of someone you love? These are really tricky questions, and you gotta it requires a lot of thinking, stuff like that. And Shiki, I don't know. Even I don't understand what Shiki means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't understand why he could tolerate someone like this. That someone who's taking your love lives away. And his response is, he probably couldn't be friends with them right away, but over time he can be friends with them. And the reason why he wants to be friends with someone, if they reach out to you, then I think it's possible for to be friends with anyone. And Shiki's mindset about friendship is the ultimate embodiment of everything Hiromashima has written about. This guy like loves friendship so much. Like this guy embodies friendship. Like he's willing to be friends with this person who'd kill his friends, if they were just in need. And I really like the fact that she talks about him reaching out, and we even get Draken Joe reaching out. And I thought this was quite well done again because we see this panel of Draken Joe reaching his arm out, right? So it makes us feel a bit of pity towards him because he's, he wants help, and he's reaching out. So like, why not give him a hand? But there's a bit of a plot twist in this because then we actually get a panel of his face, and it completely diverged my expectation of what the next panel would be, because I thought it was going to be him like begging for his life, but literally it's him saying, "Give me your life." Like he's still sinister to the core. Like Draken Joe hasn't changed his demeanor; he's still the same person, and he's here trying to take someone's life, even in this current state. So he's a scumbag through and through, and this kind of just goes everything. This pretty much contradicts what Shiki was saying about reaching out, because he's not reaching out for all, and we can see this kind of piss off Wise. And I gotta say, in this situation, I would be more like Wise than I would be Shiki. But we do get a bit of suspense because of this expectation being subverted with the bang bang. But in typical fashion, he just shoots next to him but doesn't actually kill him. And at first, I couldn't understand why Weiss wouldn't want revenge for his mother, especially earlier when he went full rage mode about doing it. And I really like Sabir's explanation because it does make sense, you know, like why Weiss didn't do it, but it's because he precious no because he knows how precious life is, and I thought that was really sweet and touching, because you know it does make sense, you know, because if you experience loss, you value life more than someone who hasn't experienced loss, and for him to know the meaning of loss is he knows the true value of life. So even though he thinks this guy is a scumbag, he's not willing to take someone's life because of how much value life has, and I thought that was really poetic, and I wanted to give praises to Hiro Mashima for that kind of writing anyway, and I really enjoyed that quite a bit anyway. And then we get the other what do you call it, the other characters just coming in, and so apparently Draken Joe was the biggest and baddest guy in the Sakura Cosmos. So this is kind of like the East Blue. Maybe this is like the East Blue, and there's more dangerous villains out there. But so he's like the most dangerous villain in the area so far. So obviously now that we've beaten the most dangerous villain out there, like there isn't really anyone who's much of a challenge. So we need to get to a higher tier, and we need to travel further away from the Sakura Cosmos anyway. And with this, it's quite nice that we get this what you call touching moment with everyone crying and celebrating their victory, and with that we kind of get some what do you call it, we kind of get some proper imposition or proposition, I don't know the word, but a bit of time passes and we just get text about what's happened, you know, context. So the organization Amira came from took him into custody, and I gotta say the organization she's part of, I still don't really trust them fully, you know. I guess because she's part of the government, you know, like I don't trust them fully. So maybe she's gonna do something sneaky with them. But I guess now that Draken Joe's in jail, and then we get this screenshot of Weiss's room. I gotta say, this dude has really pimped up his room, and it's very wise of him. You know, his females. He's got I quite like the holographic poster thing going on, and you know, it's very edgy teenager kind of vibes. You know, but it is very Weiss like, you know, girls and girls and gadgets very much. And we get this flashback of him and Sabir, which was pretty nice. And they're even talking about what transgressed anyway. And it turns out Sabir had his pendant the entire time. And obviously, because this Sabir is from a different timeline, so this Sabir is not the Sabir that he knows. So you know that's pretty interesting. But so it turns out he wasn't lying, and he was like one of the other kids who took it, you know, part of the group. And he and the reason why the story about the other Weiss is you know, the old man Weiss that yeah, I'm gonna call him old man Weiss, you know, because this time stuff is kind of complicated. So the old man Weiss, he finds out that what you call it, he finds out about the ring, I mean, the pendant, and he doesn't want it back until he can forgive himself. And the fact that he still hasn't retrieved this pendant means that he's either the old man Weiss he hasn't forgiven himself, or he's forgotten about the pendant after all this time. Because after that, he kind of wised up and went to school, and therefore he became a scientist and blah blah blah. And he even says that it was like you've forgotten all about the pendant, so maybe it wasn't anything at all. So because of that, this Wise gets his pendant back, so that's pretty nice. And you know, because that was his little thing that the little keepsake he gets from his mother before she dies, anyway. And we we also get some other little conversations between Happy and what you call Happy, Pino, Shiki, and Rebecca. And we also get what you call it. Jin is here as well, so that was kind of nice. So I'm guessing Ivory's going to keep up a promise, and heal what you call it, Sylph. So that would be quite cool if Jin joins the group, but I doubt Jin will join the group. But it's kind of funny to see what she called Libya just walking around the ship, like, you know, being all fake nice and stuff. So that was pretty hilarious. The chapter comes right at the end. I thought was amazing, like such a good plot twist, and it feels very deja vu though. It feels very deja vu because I've seen this exact plot twist before. And little spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen ReZero season one, but the exact same situation happens, I guess this is almost the exact same thing. Could this count as plagiarism? I don't know, but it does seem quite plagiarized because it's almost exactly the same. Because Subaru has the ability to go back and reset his time, and play things out differently every time. Play out the scenarios differently, and obviously a lot of things change every time he does it. And in the final episode, when he talks about Rem, Rem's like, who's Rem? So one of the consequences of him messing with his timeline is that Rem is no longer in that timeline. So I don't know what's going to happen next. But because Rebecca has been messing around with this timeline so much, the the guy called Connor, he's like the pilot of the ship, like the shipwright, the old dude with the beard. He was kind of shady, but it seems like only Rebecca recognizes him because Shiki's like, who's that? So I gotta say that similarity between ReZero and Eden Zero was pretty too canny, I gotta say, but it was nice, and this plot twist was pretty good because even I forgot who he was. And do you know what's even funny? I when when they mentioned who Connor is, I had no idea who Mr. Connor was. It was only until Rebecca had this like a little panel of the dude's face do I recognize who he is. And I want to say he's always been a mysterious character, and we don't really know much about him. So it'll be interesting if we find out more about him. Like, did we just legit forget about him? But we shouldn't be able to because when Rebecca went back in time, he was still the pilot. So where has he gone, or what has happened to him, or who even is he? Like, has he actually been a real person, or is it someone Rebecca made up? Blah blah blah, stuff like that. Or is he one of these like special creatures that only interacts with Rebecca in certain timelines? There's so many mysteries. I'm kind of rambling on, but I want to find out where Connor is or what happened to Connor, because this is very interesting to see, and I'm hoping to find out. I hope next chapter we'll find out more about Connor's origins or something like that. But let's